seeing those expensive electric trucks not coming out, I'm not surprised, because most people don't want that. And most people doesn't have the money to spend on an electric truck like that, especially for a truck with less capacities than a normal truck. So it's the common sense. Is it already the end for the Ram fully electric, the Ram Rev? Well, there's been a leak memo from a reliable source reported by the Mopar Insider. They're saying that this fully electric Ram has been canceled. It's not a surprise. You know, they were saying the Ram charger will be available before the Ram Rev. Just a quick reminder, the Ram charger is the hybrid plug-in Ram. So it's going to be a fully electric, but with a generator, a small V6, going to recharge the battery to give you more range. So the Ram charger was supposed to came after the Ram Rev. Ram Rev is the fully electric one. So that was one of the clues. We could see the Ram Rev was pushed a little bit further down the line. And also there was some rumors also. There's been a break of the development of the new Chrysler C6X. So if you remember the Chrysler Airflow concept, that was the next fully electric car from Chrysler. It looks like the all the shapes, you know, the typical electric cars we can find on the market, the crossover SUVs, just like the Mustang Mach-E, the Volkswagen 84, Hyundai Ioniq 5, EV6, and all that. They all have the same shape. So the Chrysler Airflow was supposed to be this crossover fully electric. So I think this concept, this new project was pretty much in the same research and development department at Stellantis, I think. So everything's been pushed on the side. Obviously, you know, there's a few things, you know, killing this new electric truck from my point of view. It's not only the politics, you know, obviously, you know, having Trump in power right now, it's changing the game for the fully electric cars. All the incentive might be canceled in the US. Here in Canada, all the incentive from the provincial and the federal has been canceled. So there's no more. We used to have up to $9,000 in credit when we're buying a fully electric car. So now, you know, it's on the same level. Everything is at the same, you know, level to compete. Gas, diesel, electric, and all that. That's a good thing from my point of view. I think the governments shouldn't put so much pressure on the automotive industry. Everything should be equal. You know, a lot of people likes to be equal, you know, not being racist, but they shouldn't be racist with all the type of engines available on the road. And they shouldn't have one with subsidies and the other one shouldn't have subsidies, and one's get some credit and the other one shouldn't have some credit. I think we should have the choice of gas, diesel, propane, hybrid plug-in, full electric, hydrogen, whatever works for you, whatever it's going to give you the most performance, it's going to be the most affordable, etc. I think they should be on the plain level just like that, and people should drive the force, you know, the demand, and not the government should force us to buy something most people don't want. And speaking of those large SUVs, you know, you can be maybe pro-electric, pro-ecolo, whatever, but I think in the truck industry, in bigger trucks, it doesn't play by the same rules as small cars. A small car like a Tesla Model 3 makes a lot of sense. But if we're looking at what Jim Farley, the CEO of Ford, has been saying lately, he's saying large EVs doesn't make sense. They don't drive any profits. It's hard to make any profits all out of those products. The way they are used, the way it costs, the weight, and all of that. So we can expect also the Ford Lightning. It's going to be ending in 2027. I don't think there's going to be a second generation of the Ford F-150 Lightning. So far, it's not has been really a big success for Ford. They're not selling as they were expecting. And now, without any incentive and all that, that shouldn't help this particular model, I think. So we can expect probably in 2027, it's going to be the last year of the Ford F-150 Lightning. And speaking of those trucks, the thing is, you know, for some people, maybe it makes a lot of sense. You don't pay any gas and all that. Especially here in Canada, we pay a cheaper price for our electricity. Maybe it's not the case for you in the States, but now everyone's is basically at the same level. If they're removing all the credits and we're saying maybe here is still going to be cheaper for electricity, in the US it's going to be a little bit higher. There's a lot of things that doesn't make any sense to purchase a fully electric truck, and they're not those manufacturers are not able to really build an affordable pickup truck. Just looking at this this Ram Rev, the battery is pretty massive. It's a 229 kilowatt hour battery pack. It was supposed to give you a range of 500 miles, and just the price alone of this battery was $26,000 US. So they're not able to give you a $50,000 pickup truck who doesn't take any gas. All those trucks going to cost at least $70,000. Here in Canada, it's going to be $100,000 easily without any rebate and all that. And, you know, any other truck's going to perform better on, you know, probably on the range, on the towing capacity, the payload, and also they're going to last longer, and they're going to keep their price on the long run. Most electric cars depreciate like really heavily with time, sometimes, you know, 50% after 2 or 3 years. And I don't think those trucks going to last long because they're so heavy. You know, especially the Chevrolet one, the GM ones, they're almost 10,000 pounds. All that weight is really hard on all the components of a truck. The air suspension, the tires, even the wheels are turning in the back. You know, the last time I drove a Silverado AV, everything was, you know, cracking, and, you know, you have all those sounds from everywhere. I knew that this truck wouldn't last long just by driving it for a week. So I couldn't imagine after 5 years, after maybe 10 years, you know, always having all that weight on that suspension, the wheels, the tires, and all the components all the time, especially if you live in more harsh weather like here in Canada, especially with temperature like we have, you know, this week. Here it's almost minus 25 Celsius, minus 30 Celsius. And Fahrenheit is minus, I don't know, 15, 20 for Fahrenheit, something like that. But pretty cold, and I'm sure those trucks won't last long. So all those things, you know, contribute to the failing of those trucks. And I hope, you know, in the future, they're going to leave alone more the auto industry. Because right now, with all those new laws and those, you should do that by 2035, blah, blah, blah. It's hard on those companies. And it's hard for them to compete against, especially the Chinese, who's, you know, investing a lot of money, and a lot of money of invest in those Chinese car company come from the government, and it's not on the same level. It's not on the same game, I could say. Those Chinese companies, they're kind of like, you know, cheating on the market, because most of their financing come from the money of of China, of the people of China. So those other companies like Ford, Volkswagen, and all that, they're struggling to compete against that. That's why there's really high tariff. And if those really high tariff are not implied, just look at what's going on right now in Europe. There's legacy companies like Volkswagen, Audi, Mercedes-Benz, BMWs, and all that struggling to compete. And now who's there to help them, and who's there to are willing to buy, their factories, or even willing to buy the company? It's the Chinese. So once you enter in those electrical market, who's been dominated by the Chinese, and also they own everything from the material all the way to the latest technology. That's why they're pushing so hard the electric cars, and forget all the things. It's for the planet, it's for the this and all that. It's, for me, it doesn't make any sense, especially when you're mining so much weight for building a battery, then you put it on a cargo boat, and vice versa, whatever. There's no real green cars, from my point of view. I think it's greener to hold the older car and maintain an older car than just buying a new car every 2 or 3 years. I think this will pollute more than anything else. And those electric cars, from my point of view, are basically cell phones who's going to be obsolete after maybe 4 or 5 years, and you need to buy the new one with the new update and the new technology, and the old one's going to go in a scrap yard, and it won't be, and probably it will be really tough to recycle them, or maybe impossible. So I think what's going on right now in the US with Trump in power, he's doing the right thing. Removing the 2035, 50% of all your fleet must be electric. Probably soon is going to remove the credit. I think it's a good thing, because maybe the company is going to invest more in more logical technologies, like gasoline engine, diesel engine, lighter weight material. Just going back maybe 10 or 15 years ago, when we were trying to improve gasoline engines and improve trucks like the F-150 with the aluminum and all that, removing some weight out of a truck made sense. You get better performance, better braking, better handling, better fuel economy, more payload, more towing capacity. It's better for the roads and all that. Everything was making sense. And they were stopping to improve in this technology to really satisfy the needs of the political and the push for the electric cars and the electric trucks. And now what we get, it's those funky, super heavyweight trucks, 10,000 pounds. It's a lot of weight, my friends. Do you know a Ford F450 crew cab, long box, 6 wheels? The weight of this truck, this is probably the biggest truck you can find on the road. It was not commercial. This truck weighs around 8,600 pounds and can tow 40,000 pounds. But a Silverado EV, it's 10,000 pounds, and it's struggling to tow 10,000 pounds and doesn't really do any work. So when you see a Silverado EV, a Sierra EV, Escalade IQ, they're all Hummer EVs. A Hummer EV sounds exotic. It sounds like a truck was used to be sold next to a Lamborghini. It sounds exotic. So when it's super EV, it's okay. It's a Hummer. But all the other ones are Hummers in disguise. They're all super heavy. So they're not good for the road. They're not good for the tires, the pollution and all that. Imagine how many sets of tires you can, how long a set of tires is going to last on those trucks. And those tires are not cheap. I checked last time for Silverado EV was probably $4,000, $5,000 for a set of 4. So now it's back. It's getting back more to normal. When I say normal, it was maybe 5 to 10 years ago. Maybe we're going to get back some diesel technology. Obviously, it's hard for the manufacturers to try to invest in some political decision, and maybe in 4 years it's going to be a new story and all that. I think most people, especially in the US, I think it's going to get here at one point in Canada too. If we can get back to normal, people are getting back to their common sense, the normal things. They don't try to, people are making more sense between the bullshit and the real things. I think if we could go back maybe to something decent, more affordable. It's getting hard these days, I think, especially here in Canada. All the trucks are getting super expensive, $100,000 for a truck. And if you're watching in the US, we have a special tax here. If you buy something more expensive than $100,000, you get a special tax, and we have tax on taxes. It's getting out of hand. Nothing is affordable these days. I'm checking some trucks, a base F-150 with base equipment. It costs $1,200 for 84 months. It's super expensive. It doesn't make any sense anymore. So seeing those expensive electric trucks not coming out, I'm not surprised, because most people don't want that, and most people doesn't have the money to spend on an electric truck like that, especially for a truck with less capacities than a normal truck. So it's the common sense. I'm glad there's some sense coming back also at Stellantis. This summer, Carl, the CEO, left. Tim Kanuskis came back. Tim Kanuskis was the head of Dodge, SRTs and all that. So all the cool things, Hellcat and all that, that was the guy. So now he's the main guy at Ram Trucks. Maybe we have some good chance to see a V8 coming back. He didn't say he's not against it, and he didn't confirm anything about it. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a V8 coming back in the Ram trucks in the near future too. So that's a big plus, and I'm sure Tim is looking at the market, and he's looking also at the truck guys, what they want and what they need and what they don't need, and that's why the Ram Rev, I think, has been canceled, and that's why I believe this rumor and all that. Everything makes sense from my point of view. So let me know in the comments. Are you happy about it? Are you disappointed? You were waiting for this truck to come out, and now you have to look for a Ford or a GM instead. Let me know in the comments. Also, let me know, what do you think is going to be the future? Do you think, like me, all the technology should be on the even field, gas, diesel, hybrid, electric? The demand from the public should be first, and not some agenda from the government and pushing some stupid laws to really crush the customer, crush the manufacturers. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. We're going to see each other on the next podcast.